There we go. 3, 2, 1 live. 3, 2, 1 live. What is it? Thursday, the 9th of February already.
Oh,
Jeez. Where does the time go? Georgina, how are you?
I'm all good. Yeah. Happy. Yeah. Well, how are you?
Yeah, live from the bed. I always love it when people
Yeah,
come
relegated
in.
to the bedroom, unfortunately.
Yeah, stay away from the kids because anything could happen on live TV when kids are involved.
Yeah, if I have to mute suddenly, that'll be why.
Stu, how are you? Got the avocado green wall in the background looking fresh?
yeah, it's there. Yeah, all good. Just busy. Like this month has flown past already. Like January was manic, but February's turning out to be a bit busier as well.
Fresh fade as well by the looks of it.
Yeah, last night, fresh for today.
Yeah, good. And Ricky, look, here we go. Welcome to the avocado family. Ricky, avocado Stevenage. He's here for his TV debut. How are you, Ricky?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm loving self-employed life. Loving running my mini local business.
Love that. Absolutely love it. Tip of live TV: never leave the door open behind you because you just don't know what's going to happen. But we're going to go.
The wife will be walking in. The wife will be here in 20 minutes.
If anyone's got a question for Ricky while we're live, obviously Georgina and Stuart or myself as well, but as it's his debut, if you want to make him feel any more awkward, maybe get him a little bit hotter under the collar, hit us with your comments. He will answer any question. He's not shy. So there we go. First of all, ladies first, as they say. Georgina's muted me or muted herself. But Georgina, we are in the second week of February. Things are looking up, aren't they, at the moment? I mean, look, they're not the crazy time that we've experienced for the last 2 years, but things are looking up, aren't they?
They are. I think the announcement of mortgage rates starting with a 3, what was it, a couple of days ago, that was big, wasn't it? And that's just more normal, isn't it, for what people are used to? The rates shooting up at the end of last year just killed it for a lot of people. So yeah, it's been great, and there's just so many more buyers that are sort of creeping out there, and it's not just only the people that have to move that are actually looking now. It's people moving because they want to, and obviously now they can afford to as well, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, you threw it in talking about rates there, and it's something that we got to talk about tonight because yesterday you may have seen, if you follow the social channels, you will have seen that we were super excited because we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, and we've been saying that we felt rates were dropping and that it was only a matter of time until we sort of 3 something. And psychologically, I don't know, Stuart, if it's like the 99p effect, but psychologically, once it got under 3, that's the market that we've sort of known for the last decade, if you like, from an average point of view. And actually, I believe it's the first time in 20 years that we've got mortgage rates lower than the base rate, which is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I sent, no one else will know this, but I sent you and Mike a message a few weeks ago going, can the banks be lower than the Bank of England? And you were like, yeah, of course they can. And I was like, oh, wow, I don't know if in my mortgage lifetime I've ever seen that. And obviously, if it's been 20 years, then that's why. I didn't even think it was possible. So to me, this is amazing news. But when I first bought a house, I think this was roughly the interest rate we had on our first mortgage.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you want to get Ricky, have a guess at what my first mortgage rate was?
Oh, don't. You sound like my granddad.
I'm not
it was 15% back in my day.
I know I'm old, but have a guess. I bought it in 2007, my first property. And it was higher than this. That's the stab in the dark that you can throw.
Yeah, 7%.
Not far. 6.05 was my first mortgage rate. And that was the market that was plummeting. And I think in the end, I made about 90 grand on that house. So if you're worried about getting on the ladder and you're not sure what's going on, fear not. It's not a problem. We've got a couple of people checking in anyway. We'll just quickly say hello. Matt's saying hello, guys and girls. Chris Gray, he's giving you all the best, Ricky, as well, which is cool.
I need it, mate. Thank you.
Matt's also jumped in. He said more stability in the mortgage rates provides more certainty and confidence in buying. Yeah, it definitely does. Oh, I've got a mortgage advisor ringing me live. Let's decline that. I will call you back, Trevor. or we could try and get him on the live. I mean, I'll give that a go in a minute. I know he's not been feeling great, so maybe not, as the case may be. But yeah, it's been interesting, hasn't it, Ricky? I think, you know, the market, it's definitely different to what people thought it might have been 4 months ago, but it's definitely closer to what we've been saying every Thursday at 6 that we're expecting it to be. And that's a big step, isn't it? Those 3.95s is a great step.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, very, very much so. And I'm still banging the drum, going out on valuations, discussing with people that I'm meeting on a regular basis that people still need to move. And I created a video a couple of weeks ago to say people still need to upsize, they still need to downsize, they still need to move for schools, they still need to move for work. There are plenty of reasons why people need to move, but now it's the case that people are able to move with the rates coming down.
Yeah, absolutely. I was having a chat with someone the other day, and there's a lot of doom and gloomers out there, but there's a particular person that we were talking about that's very negative and very, very much highlighting a market crash, talking crazy numbers, 40% drop this year alone. And I was trying to explain that, I thought it was important to do this, trying to explain that the property market is not fueled by 100% of the population's data. And a lot of people, when they're looking at the negative stats, especially the media, they're taking in the entire population. For starters, first-time buyers typically aren't sub 25. So you've got to rule that 7 years worth of adults, which is a big bottom of the population tree out of the equation, because they are not relevant to the property market in the nicest possible way. They're just not the buyers. So that data is misunderstood. On top of that, unfortunately, because of the way of the world, not everyone earns the same amount of money. So also the sort of low bracket payers or earners of maybe 30-35% in the population are also not people that are in the property market from time to time because they can't afford to, but their data is thrown in on the equation. And I use the analogy, Georgina, that if we're in this really bad climate, why are people spending £50 on a bottle of prime energy drink when it was actually launched at just £2? And you know what the prime energy drink is, right?
Yeah, there's been a bit of a frenzy about it, hasn't there?
It's a perfect example of simple economics, right? For the demand and the supply. No one expected when that bottle of energy drink to launch, it would have been 50 quid a bottle, but it happened because the middle tier of the population demanded it and wanted to buy it, right?
The demand was there. The demand sets the price, doesn't it? We saw that last couple of years, didn't we? With the prices, you know, some of us were almost scratching our heads at the prices that we were achieving for properties. But the trouble is, you've still got sellers that believe they're going to achieve those prices, and then the buyers that are thinking that everything's, you know, completely dropped and they can offer silly prices. So there's a happy medium. The prices have just sort of leveled off that little bit, haven't they? So yeah, absolutely. Demand certainly sets the price. You do get people blaming estate agents for the prices of house prices. You think, well, it's not us. We set the price based on the market conditions and the demand. So
maybe in the 80s, people were forced at gunpoint to buy property, but not anymore. Not anymore. And Stuart, the rumor is in Maidenhead, if a seller was to instruct with you that you're offering a free bottle of prime with every listing, actually. That's what I've heard. You're a man.
Listing, I'll do it.
Yeah, you're a man that can tap into that. I have heard.
It's not Bitcoin.
There's another stat here that, Ricky, I wanted to talk about. Obviously, you've just started your business. It's in an area where you live. You're passionate about it. I think, you know, a close friend of yours plays for the Stevenage football team. It's in your DNA, you know, that area. And it's great to see that you've already got a property on, and I believe that the property sold as well. And as the group and as the brand Avocado, when we built it based on the fact that we felt we would see a normal or a challenging market. And we didn't know that then lockdown would come. And then we definitely didn't know that we were going to see the boom that we saw. So we built this to try and make it better for the public, better for the people using estate agents, and better for the people in the industry. And we felt confident that if you have a single point of contact that's a business owner at the point of valuation to the point of handing Alan the avocado key over at the end on completion day, that will change the industry and make it better. And the little ticker that I put down the bottom is showing that last month, avocado as a group sold 105% of what they listed. And that stat means nothing to anyone unless you've got something to compare it with. So to compare it, in the Southeast, the average estate agent sells 62. So joining the brand, Ricky, knowing that the average client that uses avocado, we achieve a better result for 43% more clients than the average estate agent, gives your clients hopefully a lot of confidence that you're the right place to go to in Stevenage, right?
Definitely. It's very much a case of just, we don't like to overpromise and underachieve. And in this marketplace, whether people believe it's good, whether people believe that it's poor, I think our business model will thrive rather than a high street estate agent where you're meeting the boss and then thereafter not hearing from them at all.
Yeah, it seems simple, doesn't it, Georgina? I think it seems simple when you put it across, but obviously it's not been there previously, and obviously now it's an option for people. Why would you change it? Why would you go anywhere else? So let's just leave that ticker going, shall we, Georgina, for a little bit? What do you reckon?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Simple as that. Michael, short and sweet. Michael Charles has checked in. He's got a question. I'm going to throw this one at Stuart. When is a good time to buy? The market is booming and prices are high. I don't know whether which bit's a statement. When is a good time to buy? And then maybe means, is it only when the market is booming and prices are high? Or is the best time to buy when prices have just corrected? I was having a chat with Dan about cryptocurrency, and we were talking about the fact that obviously it's dropped massively, but maybe now is the best time to buy it. So what's your take on it? I
would say it depends. So like if you're in rented and you're wasting 24 grand a year because you're renting, you'd argue that now the mortgage rates have dropped, it's probably a better time to buy because the rental prices are going up quicker than the sales prices are. If you're upsizing and the market's dropped maybe 5%, it's a better time for you to buy because although you've lost 5% on your lower one, the bigger one coming down 5% is a bigger value in pounds in the bank. I would say now that the interest rates are getting back to where they are on the 5, I'd like to see the 2-year fixes come down so there are a bit more options out there. But in the next 6 to 8 weeks is probably going to be the best time, I think, to buy.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, Halifax do a great report, and so do Nationwide. It's great I like the Halifax and the Nationwide reports rather than the Zoopla and Rightmove one. Zoopla does supply a lot of data, but we're talking about actual completion data when you're looking at the Halifax data report. And for the first month since the mini budget, house prices in the UK stayed the same. So, you know, if we were seeing this drastically dropping rate of percentages like we did see straight after the mini budget, then prices would have been at this point obviously falling fairly significantly, but they stayed the same. So, you know, that's a positive sign. I don't think you can paint too much into 1 month, can you, Georgina? We need to see what next month does as well. I'm not saying prices are not going to fall over the next 4 weeks, but if we see another level month, then maybe that's where we're at, and we're just in for that baseline figure now potentially.
That's my prediction in the local market, is that it feels more stable now, and I think that's just going to continue. I think the initial shock of the cost of living crisis and those mortgage rates shooting up, now they're back to a sort of better level. I think that sort of initial shock is done with. So yeah, the confidence should be returning. And so, yes, I agree. I think it's a good time to buy.
Awesome. As it's his debut, let's kick off the mini market reviews with Ricky. Are you both okay with that, Georgina and Stu?
Of course.
Yeah. Right. Talk to us about Stevenage. Let's learn a little bit about Stevenage. What's going on with the market? The mic's on you. The heart rate's going. Ricky, the mic is yours.
Okay, so the good thing is that we are still seeing builders, developers continue to build in Stevenage. And if developers are building, well, they must have some confidence in the market as well as Stevenage. I've got some stats here. So there are 300 more properties currently, there are 300 more properties currently on the market year to date in comparison to January 22 through to the 9th of February 2022. There is 22 less new properties on the market in comparison to 2022. There are 22 less properties that have sold in comparison to 2022. There are 87 more properties that have been reduced since 2022. So the way that I look at that is there's still a demand to move. There's 22 less properties that have sold in comparison to last year. That's not a lot.
That was a booming market. You know,
Exactly.
January, exactly 12 months ago, was bananas.
Exactly. And the 87 more properties reduced is just the case of, I think that a lot of agents are still looking at those 6 months ago figures achieved and not adjusting. They might be pitching at the high guide price and not necessarily looking at offers in excess of, or not looking at pitching what they truly believe it is worth to potentially get a little bit over. Again, I always like to say, with me, you'll never see me over promising and underachieving. I just want to do what's right by the client. And again, what, Ian, you think my house is worth, what Stuart, you think my house is worth, Georgina, what you think my house is worth, it's irrelevant. It's what the market is determined to pay.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Nicely summed up. Do you know, you mentioned about 300 more properties that are for sale. What's that in context? Is that a small percentage, high percentage? Do you know roughly?
A lot of them are still the apartments.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of them are still the apartments that are just hanging around because they have a lack of outside space. The town centre has had shed loads of apartments built in the last few years. And yeah, a lot of them, some people haven't even moved into. But to be into London within 22 minutes, a lot of the investors are certainly having a look at Stevenage as a viable option for yields and future growth in prices. Nice
plug there for the apartment market as well. Good. Well, thank you for that mini review of Stevenage. Looking forward to the next one. Looking forward to obviously watching your channels. You're not leaving us, obviously, but definitely if you're interested in that area, follow Ricky's page if you're not already. Georgina, coming to you for the Woodley mini market review. What's happening in Woodley?
So a couple of days ago, I was just doing my February market update, and at the time, so this is a few days ago, there were 87 properties on the market currently listed in RG5, so the whole of Woodley postcode. And what was interesting was nearly half of them had already been reduced. So I think it was something like 47% had already been reduced. And some of those, I'd noticed that they'd been under offer and then come on the market again. And I think that's kind of crucial. There's quite a few where people are listing with two agents as well, as they're not selling, and they obviously think that having two agents on board is perhaps the right thing to do. I don't think it's the right thing to do in any market, whether it's, you know, booming or as we are at the moment. I would just call this a normal sort of stable market with a lot of scaremongering going on. So I just thought that was interesting that so many have been reduced. And I think it's like what Ricky said, that there are probably still a bit of, and it might not even be overvaluing at the time. They might not realize, and they just haven't quite adapted to the changes in the market. And you've got to change quickly. So, well, there you go. That just says it all, doesn't it?
It's the stat for those people.
Yeah. So if there are ones that are on the market and they're not selling, having two agents on board is not the way to go forward, unless that agent, uses the social media advertising like we do, unless they're actually trying different avenues. Otherwise, you're just looking desperate. So yeah,
What's the most in demand? What's the most in demand property in Woodley at the moment, Georgina?
So the ones that were mostly reduced were actually priced between 450 and 600, and that does seem to be almost the most popular. Hence why that's almost become the most in demand. But there's too many on the market at the moment, so that's where they're having to reduce. I think around the 500 mark is what most people, in my experience, in my opinion, is what most people are looking for, the 3 and the 4 beds.
So maybe the demand is there. Estate agents got a little bit confused because they do feel like there's a lot of activity there. So they've overpriced a little bit. And even though the demand's there, they're not silly. And as a result, they're not going for the prices that estate agents have maybe gone a little bit higher, or the sellers got a bit greedy and gone for it. And in reality, people need the kind of right analogy, don't they, of what the best property is for them. Yeah. Love that. Right, we're going to go to the Maidenhead mini market review, but we've got a comment here from the Northampton avocado partners, because I believe there is a big game coming up, Northampton versus Stevenage, an inter-network club versus club. Who's the better club? I don't know what position anyone's in the league, so I'll ask you, Ricky, who's higher in the table?
Stevenage would be top of the league by then.
That's fighting talk.
That's a political answer, I think, there. What position Stevenage at the moment?
They are second with 2 games in hand, and I think 2 points behind Leyton Orient. So, come on, you Borough.
Right. Okay. And Northampton, where are they?
4th.
Okay, so that's a big game, actually. That is a big game. Interesting. Right. Well, we see. I think you guys might be going to the game together, potentially. Tristan said to me as well, which would be cool. Stu, looking fresh, new haircut, looking very well. Is Maidenhead looking as good as you are at the moment? Give us the review.
Well, I've got a Boxing Day stat for you. So I've looked today. On Boxing Day, Maidenhead and its agents put 15 properties on the market. From those 15, 3 have sold. 6 have reduced, and the other 6 are sitting there. So 20% sold, 40% reduced, and 40% either sitting there or have come off the market.
That's shocking.
So it just proves the point. Like, you would expect Boxing Day, everyone was shut, no one could deal with the leads. They've had a whole month and a week or 2 to deal with it. Those properties have all, apart from the 3 that have sold, been put on too high. And the 6 that have reduced haven't sold yet either. Wow. And most of them reduced over 2 weeks ago. So we're looking at a overinflated market of pricing where, you know, the incentive is obviously market share to get them on, but not to sell them. I've done 4 open houses this year. 2 have been on other agent stock that I've taken. All of them have gone. So if something's priced at the right level, so Fairacre had 16 viewings, 6 offers. Wasn't yet on the market, got one agreed, then came off the market. Primrose Cottage had been on for 75 grand, well, no, 100 grand higher with 2 different agents, sold first weekend. So we're just, you know, whether it's the owner's expectations or whether it's trying to win the business expectations, Maidenhead's just not there at the moment for sales. And like year to date, 228 properties have come on, but only 132 have sold.
Okay, so way less than 50%.
Yeah, and it's just like, we've got great schools, we've got great London links, you know, you've got the M4, M40 Heathrow, we've got everything, a new town centre being built, like literally right now. The only thing that's wrong is either the marketing or the price or the advice of that price. Otherwise, everything would be sold. Yeah.
I mean, it's a great, like you say, there's anywhere that's getting that level of investment has got to be a great location to be purchasing property. You'd feel secure. If the council are investing, then why aren't you? And it does feel that sometimes, do you think it's because there's so many estate agents in Maidenhead that the public get mixed messages because people are desperate in the estate agency world.
Yeah, desperate to go back to their office and say, I've got an instruction.
Yeah.
Like, our market is low in stock here, but it's high in price. And if we got the prices right, we probably would actually have more stock come onto the market from people looking to upsize at a reasonable cost. But,
yeah, more chains, more interlinks, more people able to move because mortgage rates, when you get into the big ticket items, Maidenhead's is a high average house price area, and when you're looking at 4% mortgages, obviously it's a bigger loan. It's a big amount of money. Out of interest, for anyone really, I saw the statistic that the UK housing market is now worth 10.5 trillion. So if you had all the properties that are available to be purchased together in the UK, based on the average house price for them, it's worth 10.5 trillion, and only 1.6 trillion is mortgaged. So just under 9 trillion is equity, which I thought was quite an interesting statistic because it shows the amount of cash equity that's out there. Is this the time for the cash, I guess, the cash from sale person to be thinking of downsizing or potentially sideways moving? Is this their sort of opportunity to take advantage of the fact that prices have corrected, and maybe the downsizers out there now should sort of take advantage of that potentially? Because if they're a cash from sale, they're in a really powerful position, aren't they, Georgina?
100%. Yeah, I've had just done a podcast with Mike on this, and yeah, I mean, why are you knocking about in a 5-bedroom house if it's just the two of you? If all your kids have grown up, with the cost of heating now, I know that my parents certainly sometimes only heat one room that they're in. And as much as I don't want them to sell their house, I think it's almost time for a lot of people to do it, and it will free up the family homes for people who need them. And there's they're always saying that there's a shortage of houses. One thing that we did touch on in our podcast was the fact that builders never build bungalows, and that's actually what people want to downsize to. And there's just always bungalows, they're always really popular, aren't they? So, yeah.
Sean Egan actually has got a bungalow being built in Sunningdale, a 1-bedroom, new build. So that might be the only bungalow being built in the whole of the world.
The whole country.
Yeah. So we could see that. I was looking back at some of the banners actually that we'd done from months ago, and it's quite interesting to see exactly what we've been chatting about on these live chats. But it is scary how kind of on the ball I think the Avocado group has been just by talking with each other. I think it's so powerful to communicate this and talk with each other and how people are finding it. So what I want to just jump on now before we wrap up is, what new listings have we got coming soon? Is there anything that you can briefly talk about? You don't need to give the address away. You don't even need to necessarily the price. You say price range. But if you've got something cooking over the next couple of weeks, maybe it's had a hashtag beat the portals, or maybe it will do soon, then why should people be following your page? I'm going to go to you first, Stu.
So I've got, I believe it might be one of the first Beat the Portal rentals coming up in Maidenhead.
Okay.
Just chuck it out there. It's a brand new apartment. It's coming on the market at 1,800. It's in the newest part of Maidenhead town. It's 2 minutes from Waitrose. It's 10 minutes from the train station. You've got bars and restaurants opposite. If I was renting in Maidenhead, I would only rent in this apartment block. So that's that. And then I've got a Farmer's Way family home, 3-bedroom. It's had its garage converted and a rear extension. It's going to be a great home at 450. Awesome. I think that'll have 15, 20 people go to it, hopefully.
2 cracking instructions. Great to see you getting into the rental market over there as well. Obviously now, if anyone wants to use their Avocado local partner to rent their property out, that's an option. So bear that in mind. That's new for 2023. You heard it here first. Stu's got a lovely client of his that's going to be taking him up on exactly that. Georgina, anything cooking, anything bubbling that you can give us a little teaser on?
Yeah, next week or the week after, I've got a gorgeous 4-bedroom detached, loads of scope to extend. It's got a massive double garage, utility room, ensuite, master. But because it's got the double garage, you've got all that space to the side to extend, and then plus you've got space at the side again within the plot. It's a corner plot. It's pretty modern as well. It's just had some new carpet put in, but you could knock things around and have a really special family kitchen room. So they've left the kitchen as it is, but everything else you wouldn't need to do any work to it. So yeah, it's a really special one. It's in Earley, coming on at 795, I think. So it's a biggie, but it's a gorgeous location and lovely house. So
Gonna fly the drone up?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll do that for everyone.
I'm looking forward to that. Beat the portals.
Yes.
It's going to be a good one. And Ricky, I mean, we didn't talk about it. I briefly threw it in there, but obviously you listed a property in your first week of business that had been on the market with another agent for quite some time. I don't know how many months it was. It was 4 or 5.
Yeah, it was on and off for 8 months, and after 5 days, I had an offer accepted. After conducting 4 viewings, it frustrates the life out of me, the amount of times that people will say, oh, well, if it's on Rightmove, it will sell. It's not the case. You need to look at the quality of the marketing. You need to look at the quality of how the inquiry is handled. You need to look at the quality of the way the viewing is conducted. Is it conducted from someone who met the owner from the initial circumstances and knows their position? Is it someone who is from Stevenage and knows how quick it is to get into London, how quick it is to walk to the old town, and so on and so on and so on?
Mm-hmm.
It makes a huge difference.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to helping sellers get their properties under offer. I know the business is new, but have you got anything bubbling that you could let us know about? Anything you valued? Anything that you're due to sign up in the next couple of weeks?
I've done my first Beat the Portals today.
Woo! So check on
so
at Avocado Stevenage. We can go check that out, can we?
Yeah, you certainly can. No, so currently we've got one on the market in Fairfield Crescent, which is a 3-bedroom link detached, literally around the corner from the one that I've done a Beat the Portals on today. So the 3-bedroom link detached is on the market for 400. The one that I brought to the market, well, in the next couple of days, is coming on for 325. It's a 2-bedroom end of terrace. It's got parking directly outside with a electric car point as well. It is within a minute's walk of Canterbury Park, which is perfect for morning strolls or evening strolls, or you're running like yourself.
I do.
And it's got AstroTurf in the garden, nice patio area, so it's so easy to maintain. It's a really nice house for first-time buyers, for downsizers, or for investors. They've just put in a new kitchen and a new bathroom as well. It's a good house.
For, Ricky?
I would say that would probably, the rents are crazy at the moment, but you could probably pick up the best part of £1,200-1,300 per calendar month.
Not bad yield as well, then, hey? Not a bad yield
at
all.
It's quite good. I've got a
nice
2-bed apartment, hopefully coming up in a couple of weeks too, again in Great Ashby, which is first floor, 2-bed, 2-bath, coming to the market in and around 225. So yeah, they're coming through.
As the TikTok video says, very good, very nice. Stu,
very nice.
Yeah, I wasn't going to try and do that bit. I thought so I'll let you into a little story. My wife's been working all day. The kids have been at school. No one's had the heating on. So when I got in, it's freezing. So I'm about to lose my fingers because I ran in to put the live on. So I think we're going to wrap it up there. Stuart, any little final summary from you?
If you go into the market in the next few weeks, just be realistic. Don't be unrealistic. Go on at the right price and get a little bit more. Don't go on too high and then have to drop.
Absolutely. Georgina?
do your research on who you're getting out to value your properties, be that looking on Rightmove at their listings and how they're marketing, and look at their individual reviews and ask who will be doing everything like viewings, call handling the viewing inquiries, as Ricky picked up on earlier. It's a really valid point and really, really important.
And Ricky, a little wrap up from you. Any summary?
It's National Pizza Day today. So if you don't want to lose dough on your home,
oh God,
give me a call.
Love that. I saw the advert. It was a great play on words. Fantastic play on words. So yeah, check out Ricky's page for a little bit of competition fun on that as well. And I think for me, it's just important to highlight, if you're thinking of selling in 2023, you need as many people as possible to see your property. And when they see it, it needs to be presented in its best possible light. Nothing works better than video. Photos don't do it justice. So you need a presenter-led video. You need a social media campaign to go with your portal advertising on Rightmove and Zoopla. And then when you get the viewing, you need the right person through the door. And that is the offering we've got here at Avocado. So enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully the frost is gone, because it's been pretty cold out on my runs in the morning. I'm looking forward to not having to go out with a woolly hat on. Have a good rest of the week, everyone. And thanks, Stuart, Georgina, and well done, Ricky, for your debut on live TV.
Thanks, guys. You made it a